Peace to the world.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Happy New Year! Mine's broken. 2022! A lot of our subscribers, or a lot of people have been saying that they haven't been getting the notifications when we release new videos. So we just want to make sure that we get to come in and like say hello and make sure that you're getting to like have a little visit with us.
Please make sure your notifications are turned on. Go to that bell. Enable all push notifications. Why are we here? What are we talking about today?
We wanted to begin the new year having a very real conversation with you guys, with each other. And this is a conversation that we were sort of like spitballing and talking about before we started this video, and then we stopped ourselves because we thought we wanted it to be a little bit more raw and unfiltered. I don't know, this may end up being a lot of rambling and maybe kind of all over the place. We just had a kind of overall idea of what we wanted to talk about today.
No way that any marriage is always happy and is always good and is always, you know, fill in some words.
Marriage, but even family or life, like even as parents, like it's not, like we share a lot of these beautiful moments which our lives are full of, and we have a lot to be grateful for. But there are a lot of hard times that we go through in order to make those good times seem exceptionally beautiful.
Yeah, I'm just gonna like jump into a subject and just go for it because there's something we just touched on, and that's to do with privacy. Really, is where it stems from, is our need to protect our family while still being able to share our experiences and events that go on in our life. We started our channel 5-6 years ago, whenever it was. There was just so much attention put on our son, and that made me scared for him. He's so little, he has no say in what is being shared about him.
Well, yeah, your need as a parent to protect.
Yeah.
Like, of course, those instincts came up. Where this is going, I think, because we have talked about protecting our son on this channel, but I think where we're going with this today is that I think we began to sort of like the pendulum swung so far, and we became so protective, not only just of our son, but of our home and our lives and our family. And we had experiences that were a little scary. We had people showing up on our doorstep. We had people leaving notes on our cars and tracking us down. And so all these things led to us sort of like really overcompensating and overguarding ourselves, and that we feel like over the past maybe couple years that there has been a sort of like overprotection, not just of our son and our family, but even of ourselves. And we started to become guarded so that our lives and ourselves, just as people or as creators, became sort of washed over by this like gloss of just wanting to keep everything pretty and happy and
also kind of vague. Not give too much away.
And so I think we overcompensated a lot over the last couple of years. And you know, what makes this platform or this relationship so special is that it is about sharing certain aspects of our lives and certain aspects of ourselves. We became so concerned with trying to keep so many things private and not offend so many people, so then we can't be started like editing out curse words.
Yeah, a lot of the curse words is because,
well, our kid watches
it, but also, not that he doesn't hear the word. It's like, what do we want to put out there? Yeah, like we might have a foul mouth, but do we need to put it on a platform so every kid that watches it is gonna hear it?
Yeah, but yes.
But like, and then once you go down that road, like, when do you stop?
But again, that is that censoring sort of like who we are. Like, we didn't set out to make a channel that was for families to watch. We are a channel that features our family, but we are not a channel that's made for kids. We're not necessarily made for families to sit down and watch together. I love that our kids watch our videos and it's appropriate and that other kids may be able to, but I think a lot of, you know, you go back to earlier videos and we do drop an F-bomb or an SH-bomb or whatever here and there, but it feels very real because it was authentic, and those are words that most children hear in their households. Like, we're not necessarily like in front of our kid like talking like sailors, but he does hear the occasional like sometimes it slips out, or I'll be in the kitchen and I'll cut my finger, knife my finger, and you know what I mean? And those are things that like it became. I feel like we, as a channel, just became so glossy that like even those like sort of very real moments became edited out or glossed over because of the concern. Like we were so concerned with what we were putting out there, what were we putting into the world, and it was wanting to just like put positive and happy things into the world. But by only putting those things into the world, you're negating all of the like the real life. Before we continue this conversation, we do need to take a minute to thank our sponsor.
Mise for mise en place.
Yes, mise en place. This is a brand that I'm really excited to work with. The only pan that I really use now. It doesn't even get put away. With typical pans that you buy, they're like a 10-inch pan typically only has 8 inches of cook space because you have the rounded edges, but a mise en pan they've redesigned their pan to include 19% more cooking space in the pan, and that's huge for us. One of my favorite things too has been to make meatballs in the pan, because I usually have to do it in shifts to get all the meatballs like through, and with the cooking size and space in the mise en pan, I can just put all the meatballs in there without overcrowding. And with all non-stick pans, eventually they start to lose their non-stick coating. But mise en pans are scientifically proven to outlast pans that are twice as much as a mise en pan. And that has been one of their goals, is to create tools to make cooking and creating in the kitchen easier for you and to be at affordable prices. What's also amazing is that mise en pans are oven safe for up to 450 degrees. And because mise en pans have a 4.22 millimeter aluminum base, it provides perfect heat distribution. So go to the link in our description and use our promo code mattandblue for 20% off your first purchase. That's the link in our description, our code mattandblue for 20% off your first purchase.
Do a New Year's dance for us. Entertain us for a second. Yes. Here's a good New Year's dog. Arliss, what are your New Year's resolutions, huh? Eat more bones? Sniff more butts? Tell me about 2022, man.
He's a good boy.
Tell me. Yeah, no, I feel it.
New Year.
New Year what?
New Year. New chapter. It's gonna be a good one. It has to be a good one.
It's 10:50.
It's getting close. You think those kids are gonna make it?
And she stayed still.
I'll just stay at the same spot. Okay, we're good.
Look at my cord spread.
Yeah, you're very like. I'll dig it. We've put out there the very like beautiful, like positive sort of side of our lives and our marriage, but the reality is when the cameras are off, it's been a lot of work, and it's taken a lot of like talking, and it's taken, I mean, there's been arguments and fights or whatever, and like things to sort of like work through the way we're feeling. And sometimes like I get really in my head, and I get really down, and I get really angry and frustrated and at the world and at things, and like sometimes some of it gets like pushed, like channeled to you, and I know like sometimes I just need to get it out, and it'll end up in a fight or an argument because I just need to get some of it out. Life is hard. Being a parent is hard, and being a partner or being in a partnership or marriage is very difficult and challenging. And as much as we like to like celebrate the good stuff, I think it is important to acknowledge the hard times.
You know, a lot of the comments that we get along the lines of like, oh, you have a beautiful family, I can't wait to have a family like you guys are inspiring. I read those, and sometimes I question whether or not we're doing right by our viewers by not having these kind of conversations, that there is another side, the arguing, the not getting along, the disagreeing, about literally everything. We both like chocolate and whiskey. We are complete opposites, really.
Fundamentally, we have the same strong beliefs and desires and wants. A lot of times, that is what makes this family work. Because we are so, like, the extremes in so many different ways, we do balance each other. Sometimes I have, like, to be able to tell you, like, you need to chill out and, like, breathe and, like, let go a little bit and just, like, yeah. And other times,
sometimes I need to
have
tell
like,
you need to get pissed off. You should be angry about this.
or just that, like, I have to be more responsible about money. Marriage is hard.
Yeah.
Life is hard. Yeah, y'all are gonna see this and start being worried that there's trouble in our marriage. And
Ooh, the clickbait on this title is gonna be good. But listen, but there's plenty of good things too. So
there are a lot of exciting things.
this was
happening
more
in our
just
future.
real talk amongst friends. Let's close this fucking show.
Cheers.
Does that mean I'm not gonna get bleeped anymore when I say?
Thank you for sitting with us and visiting with us, and we missed you while we were gone for the past couple weeks.
We're on Snapchat too now.
Oh yeah, we did want to say that. We're on Snapchat. You guys should come find us on Snapchat. It's just Matt and Blue, right? Or Matt and Blue Dallas Hamilton on Snapchat.
I don't know. I think it's just Matt and Blue. Maybe Matt and Blue Dallas Hamilton.
You can find us. It's very simple.
We'll
Post
put it in the description.
Peace to the world. Happy New Year. And we'll see you next week. Cheers.
You
gotta go. Hugs and kisses on you.
That's what I'm doing.
2022! Start it over. Give us a second shot. Happy New Year!
I'd be glad to stay up past midnight.